You've made it through parts 1 and 2. You've survived the fake mustaches, the butter bans, and even the bear wrestling crackdowns. But don't relax just yet. Because in this episode, the laws get even stranger. And in some cases, even dumber. From pizza pranks to explosive golf balls, these next rules will make you question reality. Welcome to 15 more laws that make you a criminal, Part 3. In the last 2 episodes, we uncovered laws so weird they barely sound real, and yet they exist. Well, guess what? We've saved some of the best and most unbelievable for last. We're talking about laws that cover everything from pets and pranks to things you'd never imagine anyone needing a law for. Here's the thing, strange laws don't just disappear. Some are outdated relics from another century. Some were made to solve a problem that barely exists anymore. And some, honestly, no one knows how they ever got passed. But whether they were meant to protect businesses, keep animals safe, or stop people from doing something incredibly stupid, these laws are still out there. Which means yes, you could get in trouble for gifting someone a blue duckling or for sending them too many pizzas. And no, we're not making this up. So let's wrap this series up with the weirdest, funniest, and most why is this even a law? Laws we found yet. Which of these would you accidentally break? Tell us in the comments, and if you've been loving this series, hit like, subscribe, and share it with a friend who needs a laugh. Ever thought of cruising through Nevada on a camel? Desert vibes, right? Well, don't. Because if you take a camel onto the highway in Nevada, that's actually illegal. Yep, not a joke. Welcome to Nevada, famous for Las Vegas, UFO sightings and slot machines on every corner. But deep in the state's law books, there's a rule that says no camels on the highway. So if you are planning a desert road trip with your two-humped buddy, think again. Now this raises a few big questions. Who was driving camels on highways in the first place? And more importantly, why did we need a law to stop it? Let's go back to the 1800s. The US Army launched a real project called the Camel Corps. They brought camels into the deserts of the Southwest, including Nevada, for transportation. Turns out, camels are built for the desert. But when roads got busier, with wagons, cars, and stagecoaches, camels caused chaos. They spooked horses, blocked roads, and were just plain confusing to everyone. So lawmakers said, let's ban them from highways. Picture this. A tourist in Nevada rents a camel for the ultimate desert experience. They get on the highway to take a shortcut to Vegas. Next thing you know, sirens, flashing lights, a very confused cop, and one very awkward ticket for illegal camel driving. So yeah, Nevada's got gambling, showgirls, and Elvis impersonators. But if you try to ride a camel on the freeway, you're officially breaking the law. Leave the humps off the highways, people. What animal would you want to ride across the desert if laws didn't stop you? Let me know in the comments. Bad breath, bad business. In Nebraska, if you're a hairdresser, there's one rule you really need to follow. No onions, no garlic. Yep. You could be breaking the law just by eating your lunch. Because in this state, hairstylists must stay smell-free. Welcome to Nebraska, where the corn is sweet, the skies are big, and hairstylists are legally required to keep their breath fresh. It might sound like a joke, but there's actually a rule that says hairdressers shouldn't eat onions or garlic before work. That's right. Your sandwich could cost you your salon license. This law likely comes from old public hygiene codes, back when barbers were also surgeons, tooth pullers, and all-purpose medical helpers. The goal? keep services clean, sanitary, and most importantly, breathable. So they added this food ban to prevent discomfort during close-up work, like trims and shaves. And somehow it never got repealed. So yeah, in Nebraska, a garlic-heavy breakfast could make you an outlaw with scissors. Imagine this. A hairdresser walks into a salon in Lincoln after eating a garlic bagel and some onion rings. They start doing someone's hair. But the smell is so strong that the customer starts crying. Not because of the price, but the breath. The manager looks up the rules and boom, bad breath is breaking the law. No warning. It's an official offense. So next time you're in Nebraska and about to work in a salon, remember, skip the onions, pass on the garlic, and maybe pack a mint just in case. Because in this state, a fresh shave needs a fresh breath. What's the weirdest work rule you've ever heard of? Drop it in the comments, because trust me, this series is just getting started. Ever wanted a baby duck that matches your curtains? Well, in Kentucky you can't just dye a duckling blue. That's right, painting poultry is mostly against the law. Unless, of course, you've got 6 of them. Welcome to Kentucky, home of bluegrass, bourbon, and bizarre bird laws. In this southern state, there's a law that says you can't sell a dyed duckling unless you have at least 6. Yes, that's real. Dye 1 duck, illegal. Dye a squad of 6, go right ahead. This strange rule dates back to the 1960s and 70s, when it was trendy to dye chicks and ducklings bright colors for Easter gifts. It was cute. Until people realized dyed animals often got abandoned or mistreated. So Kentucky passed a law to stop the sale of single dyed ducklings, probably to discourage impulse buys. But the law didn't ban dyeing ducks altogether. If you've got 6 or more, it's apparently fine, because nothing says responsible pet ownership like a rainbow flock. So in Kentucky, it's not the color that's illegal, it's the quantity. 1 dyed duckling, crime. 6, party. What color would you dye a duck if it were legal in your state? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Because we're just getting started with the world's weirdest laws.
I hope you are enjoying the video so far. If you are loving what you are watching, do not forget to show some support by hitting that like button. It really helps us out. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to Connection Station for more awesome content just like this. We are all about creating connections, and we do not want you to miss any of the fun. We appreciate all the support, and we are so glad to have you as part of our journey. Now, let us jump right back into the video.
Ever wanted to prank a friend with 10 surprise pizzas at their doorstep? Well, don't do it in Louisiana. Because here that free pizza delivery can get you fined or even jailed. Yep. Sending someone pizza without their okay is illegal. Louisiana is known for jazz, tasty food, and yes, even pizza rules. Most people think getting surprise food is fun. But in Louisiana, it's not. If you send someone a pizza they didn't order, you could get in trouble with the law. The law was made to stop prank calls to delivery places, especially when the prankster never intended to pay. It messes with small businesses, burns gas, wastes food, and wastes time. And it's not just pizza. Any unwanted delivery can count. So your idea of a funny prank could become a petty offense real quick. Imagine this. Your friend wakes up and finds 12 pizzas, 3 boxes of wings, and lots of garlic bread at their door. But they didn't order any of it. The pizza shop wants someone to pay, and guess what? Your name is on the order. Now you're standing in court, trying to explain your funny prank to a serious judge. Still laughing? Probably not. So yeah, Louisiana doesn't mess around with food pranks. If it's not your pizza, don't send it. Unless you want to trade your freedom for a pepperoni rap sheet. Ever gotten food you didn't order? Was it a gift or a greasy disaster? Tell me in the comments. Got a wicked slice on the golf course? Just don't try to fix it with fireworks. Because in Massachusetts, it's illegal to own an exploding golf ball. Yes, that's a real law. Massachusetts is where you'll find Harvard and the Red Sox. And also a law against exploding golf balls. Some people thought it was funny to make golf balls that explode as a joke. But the state didn't think it was funny at all. Now it's actually against the law. Why would anyone make an exploding golf ball? Mostly for pranks. You hit the ball. It blows up into smoke or confetti. Sounds funny until someone loses a hand or an eyebrow. And yes, it's happened. These trick balls were sold as gag gifts, but they've caused real injuries on golf courses. Some exploded on impact, others mid-swing. Which is not cool when metal clubs and sharp tees are involved. Massachusetts wasn't having it, so they banned them altogether. Imagine, you're on the green, lining up the perfect shot, you swing. Boom! Now you're covered in smoke, grass, and embarrassment. The cops show up, and instead of a birdie, you're charged with owning a banned item. What's the weirdest sports prank you've seen? Tell me in the comments. No explosions, please. Taking your dog for a ride? Cool, your cat. No problem. But a bear? Sitting loose in the back seat? That's where Missouri draws the line. In Missouri, it's illegal to drive with a bear in your car, unless it's in a cage. Yep. This law is real. Someone, somewhere, thought it was a good idea to cruise around with a bear just hanging out. The state said, nope, cage it or leave it. An uncaged bear isn't just weird, it's super dangerous. Even if it's trained, it's still a wild animal. One bad mood or loud horn and boom, bear panic in a moving car. Back in the day, traveling shows and private owners used to carry wild animals like bears. Sometimes they'd be driven without any safety measures. This law was made to stop people from putting themselves and everyone else at risk. So picture this. You're at a red light. You look over and there's a bear chilling in the passenger seat. You call animal control. They call the police. And now someone's explaining why their pet isn't caged in court. Missouri doesn't want bears rolling around loose in cars. If you've got one, leave it home. Ever seen a weird animal in a car? Tell us in the comments. Picture this. You're at a candlelit dinner, holding a ring box. You lean in and say, "Will you marry me?" But you don't actually mean it. In South Carolina, that's not just bad manners, that's breaking the law. Yep. In this state, you can't propose to a woman unless you're serious. It might sound dramatic, but this law was made to protect women from false promises. Back in a time when a broken engagement could ruin her reputation. Here's the deal. In the past, marriage wasn't just a romantic gesture, it was a social contract. If a man promised marriage and backed out, the woman could be left humiliated, judged, and even seen as less respectable in the community. So lawmakers decided to step in. The rule was simple. Don't pop the question unless you plan to follow through. Otherwise, you could face legal trouble. While most modern proposals are just between two people, this law technically still exists. It's not enforced often, but it's still sitting in the books like a forgotten time capsule. Other states used to have similar laws. Some even allowed women to sue men for breach of promise to marry. It was basically relationship code before reality TV. And while times have changed, South Carolina's old rule remains a quirky reminder that romance in some places was once a legal commitment. The wildest part? You could, in theory, be taken to court just for jokingly proposing in a TikTok video. Imagine explaining to a judge, Your Honor, it was just for the likes. The law doesn't care about your follower count. If she can prove you weren't serious, things could get legally awkward fast. So in South Carolina, if you're thinking about getting down on one knee, make sure your heart and your intentions are in it. Because here, love might be blind, but the law sees everything. What do you think, sweet protection or outdated romance rule? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Picture this. It's Sunday in Rhode Island. You walk into a store, grab a toothbrush and toothpaste, and suddenly, you're breaking the law. Yep, apparently dental hygiene takes the day off here. Among America's strangest blue laws, Rhode Island's Sunday ban on selling a toothbrush and toothpaste together is one of the quirkiest. You can buy them separately. You can buy them on Monday. But together, on a Sunday, illegal. So, why on earth would this be a law? Blue laws, old rules restricting what you can buy or do on Sundays, were originally meant to encourage rest, often for religious reasons. Over time, most states repealed them. But Rhode Island still has some unusual leftovers. In this case, pairing toothpaste with a toothbrush was seen as part of non-essential sales, a category that once included certain toiletries and even toys. Of course, in the real world, it just sounds like the state decided you should only fight cavities 6 days a week. The law's practical enforcement is another mystery. There are no famous arrests for Sunday dental crimes. It's more of a forgotten relic, still sitting in the legal books, yet it sparks endless jokes. Do they think brushing your teeth on Sunday is bad luck? Is it about keeping your smile holy? Or maybe it's the ultimate excuse for skipping a chore. Sorry, can't brush today. State law. While the law is rarely enforced, it highlights how many outdated regulations quietly survive for decades. Most people have no idea it exists until it pops up in a weird laws article and makes them double take. It's harmless, it's silly, and it's exactly the kind of rule that makes you question whether lawmakers were bored or brilliant. So if you're in Rhode Island on a Sunday, buy your toothbrush today and your toothpaste tomorrow. Because nothing says weird law like scheduling your dental hygiene. What's your verdict? Quirky leftover law or secret anti-dentist conspiracy? Drop your thoughts below. Imagine this. You're in Texas planning a crime. Before you do it, you're legally supposed to give your victim a 24-hour heads up. Yes, like sending a save the date, but for your felony. As bizarre as it sounds, this is a real Texas law, but it only applies in certain situations. It's aimed at specific crimes, and the idea is to give potential victims time to prepare or call the police. Still, it's one of the strangest legal requirements you'll ever hear. The law states that if you're going to commit a certain kind of crime, for example, involving theft or damage, you must give oral or written notice to the person you're targeting at least 24 hours before it happens. On paper, it's meant to reduce harm because the victim could secure their property or just not be there when you show up. But think about it in practice. If someone's planning a crime, are they really going to send a polite email first? The whole thing feels like a plotline from a bad sitcom. Texas lawmakers likely added this law as a deterrent. Because if someone admits they're going to commit a crime, that's already evidence, making it easier to prosecute them. But because the requirement is so oddly worded, it's been mocked in weird laws lists for years. Some picture criminals sending text reminders. Hey, just letting you know I'll be stealing your truck tomorrow at noon. Technically, that would check the legal box. But it would also make catching them incredibly easy. The funniest part? No one can find many actual cases where this law was enforced. Most criminals aren't exactly in the habit of giving RSVP notices. So it sits in the Texas code, half deterrent, half comedy gold.
Here is your chance to win exciting gifts and hampers. Answer this question in the comments.
In which US state is it illegal to send a surprise pizza to someone's house without their permission? A. Texas. B. Louisiana. C. Arizona. D. Michigan. We're giving away an exclusive Labubu doll. Here's how to win it. Answer the question in the comments below. Spill your stylish thoughts. We're picking one fabulous winner straight from the comments. And hey, if you're loving the vibe, like this video, share it with your fashion tribe, and subscribe so you don't miss the magic.